I am pleased to present to you a project that I have been working on for 10 years. The project involves the development of a battery charging system for a Modec electric vehicle, a 100% electric van, when weighing 5.5 tons with a maximum load capacity of 2,100 kilograms. My goal is to ensure the supply of energy to the main battery for this vehicle while driving, to produce energy for the battery in real time. What does this mean in practice? This means that my energy production system is based on a device that is also an energy generator based on Stark 1 technology, a dynamo and an engine at the same time. It is at the same time a complicated energy system, but also very simple. In fact, we have something like multiplying energy from smaller to larger. This is something very innovative, and many of you will ask, how is this possible? This is only possible if we have the initial energy for free, the energy that is produced without own costs. We are talking about kinetic energy. In our project, this is energy from the wind, energy from the circulation of fluids in the rotor, and solar energy from solar cells placed on the roof of the vehicle. Each of them is free. By collecting and producing free, kinetic and piezokinetic energy, which is not at a level sufficient to ensure that the main battery is charged at a satisfactory level for our vehicle, we direct it not to the main battery, but to the Stark 1 generator drive modules. The rotor drive modules, powered by this energy, rotate the Stark 1 generator rotor, where the appropriate energy is generated for the vehicle's main battery, and this happens non-stop while the vehicle is moving, while driving. But not only that, the initial energy is collected in the appropriate power bank from which the Stark 1 drive modules are powered. Therefore, the main generator can produce energy and send it to the vehicle's main battery even when the vehicle is stationary, until the stored energy in the power bank for the generator is fully exhausted. Which won't happen quickly because we still have solar cells on the roof to use, so the energy is sent to the generator's power bank during the day. However, the main task is the production of energy while driving, and here I have already made great progress in testing this system. I described the issue in the Polish Technik Inventor magazine in numbers 170 to 180 of the PTW magazine. Without boring you with more technical details, because we should also mention the Stark 3 main generator model, or the mercury-based generator, but we are not financially prepared for these tests. Maybe when we collect more funds, we will also deal with this issue in the testing phase. In this part, I will also mention the test results of the Stark 1 generator. By feeding it with energy ranging from 12 volts to 14 volts of voltage, and 4 amperes of current, which gives 45 watts, we achieved 60,000 RPM on 8 drive coils, on the rotor with 8 magnets, which gives the intersection of the field of the energy-producing coil at 7,500 times per second, which is an incredible result. There are 16 coils in the device. Tests are still ongoing. We are testing various types of wire diameters on the coils, as well as a passive and active system, as well as a series or parallel connection. Of course, these are tests at this stage on models. They are not yet the correct size of the Stark 1 main generator. To carry out such tests, much greater funds are needed than have already been spent. At the moment I have spent over £80,000, and the funds for further tests and work have just ended. We also need to buy another Modec van. I found one in France. Without it, further tests, even with a generator of the right size, will be of no use, because we have to test these systems on the right vehicle, and Modec is still number one. That is why I am asking you to support my project. Every dollar, pound or euro can help us complete the project. In exchange for serious support, I offer a share in the profits from the project after selling the prototype of our vehicle along with the systems. Our first goal is 1,000 kilometers of range, i.e. breaking the glass ceiling with Magic 1000. I can talk about the technical issue for a long time, explain and prove the results that have been achieved, but in this episode one would like to give you a perspective on this invention. If we achieve the first level of success, 1,000 kilometers of non-stop driving without stopping to charge the main battery. And a commercial vehicle, for commercial use, not for private use, and in addition, a vehicle weighing more than 5 tons and with a load capacity of more than 2 tons. The Modec has a practical range on its own battery, with a load, up to 250 kilometers on one battery charge. This is the basis, and this is the best result in this class of electric vehicles. And despite this, it is still not enough that for such a vehicle to be practical and have logical applications, it should have a range of over 1,000 kilometers. So he should cover this distance non-stop, only then does it make sense. But this cannot be achieved without producing your own energy for your vehicle while driving. There is no other option. Super batteries were announced, they are gone. They announced an increase in range by saving energy. It didn't work, only solar cells were used. It didn't help, electric vehicles still have no logical range, and just standing at the charger is shockingly tiring. Therefore, there is only one thing left, what I offer, as the only one on the market, i.e. the production of own energy while the vehicle is moving. There is no other solution. If the idea of electric vehicles is to survive and not be thrown away again, only tests such as ours should be carried out, charging while driving. Our project also includes the use of a water energy production system, i.e. a hydro micro power plant using a Pelton turbine, and smaller Stark 1 or Stark 2 or Stark 3 generators. Why should electric vehicles be preferred in the manufacturing market? Because the production of such vehicles is cheaper, because fewer raw materials, such as metals, are needed for production, because the number of employees in the production of such vehicles is reduced, because electric vehicles do not leak oil and are failure-free as long as they are well made. Please analyze how many elements need to be made in vehicles with combustion engines and how many elements need to be made in electric vehicles. The difference is huge, even gigantic in favor of electricians. In addition, servicing electric vehicles is very simple and does not require so many hours of work for repairs. In fact, in electric cars we replace worn-out elements with new ones, which takes very quickly and is much cheaper. Electric vehicles do not have to have a gearbox, gear oil, a whole lot of parts. How many hours of work do you need to spend on building an electric vehicle compared to diesel or petrol vehicles? Given the scale of a combustion engine compared to an electric one, there are huge advantages of an electric engine that people do not know or appreciate. In addition, the practical efficiency of an electric engine is 100%, and that of an internal combustion engine is from 35% to 40%, so the use of energy to power the vehicle is incomparably to the advantage of electric vehicles. The disadvantage, as many of you will immediately say, is the low range of electric vehicles, and this is true, but the reason is the lack of willingness to build electric vehicles at a higher technological level. There is no cooperation between large car companies and inventors. It is blatant ignorance, wild capitalism. There is no will to build good electric vehicles, simply no one wants to make them. Electric vehicles are divided into 3 generations. Currently, the first generation is on the road without introducing any innovations, 0 innovations. The second generation is an electric vehicle with its own battery charging system, and such a vehicle was already built in 1952 in the USA, and later in 1988 in the USA. An electric vehicle with no range limit, without the need to recharge the battery at a standstill. The third generation electric vehicle was built in the USA in 2000, by the Horlicker brothers. It was an electric vehicle with no range limit and no main battery. In the electric vehicle sector, hybrid vehicles appeared which were a sign of the powerlessness of manufacturers. Hybrid vehicles did not work in the slightest, and their range when driving using an electric engine was pathetic, ridiculous, and comedic. Despite this, customers of these companies, were lied to, saying that it was great technology. It was an embarrassment. For years, liars from large corporations have been telling stories about a super battery, about a battery whose accumulation will be very high and will provide magic 1000 for electric vehicles, i.e. the magic 1000 kilometers of range, and many people have been fooled by it. However, this is total stupidity and hypocrisy or lack of technological knowledge. Currently, there is another shift away from electric vehicle designs, which is yet another time in the history of the automotive industry. And not because trends have changed or politics have changed, but because large car companies cannot understand the idea of building electric vehicles. They do not understand what the technology of electric vehicles is. They do not understand what cooperation with inventors is, because they are total ignorant and hypocrites. Over the last 20 years, we have seen some intensity in work on new models of electric vehicles, but it was only powdering and not real work on improving what is most important: the range of these vehicles. This did not produce any positive results. Why has none of the big car companies built an electric vehicle that would make sense for such a period of time? Even though taxpayers gave them huge subsidies for research, received tax breaks and other gifts, why didn't they do anything for such billions of dollars? Because this task was not about catching the bunny, but about chasing the bunny. But were they all ignorant? Well, no, there were a total of 30 small electric vehicle projects around the world with their own main battery charging system. Unfortunately, these projects, including ours, had no financing or support. Projects from China, through Colombia, Germany, Great Britain, Scotland and Africa. Currently, we are the only ones left with a project of charging the batteries while driving, and we had the largest budget of all these inventors, and it was £80,000, which was still not enough. Me and my team were the only ones in the world who wanted to install such a system on a Modec electric vehicle, i.e. a commercial vehicle, from the very beginning. We had one such vehicle, but the police harassed me as much as they could. They took me and forced me to scrap the vehicle. I was arrested and charged. Currently, I have found another such vehicle and I intend to buy it if I manage to raise a minimum budget of up to €30,000. This time the vehicle will be hidden and work on it will be secret. The experience we already have will not be wasted. That is why I decided to ask you for help in collecting a budget that will enable us to continue working on what is important. If we succeed, we will change the world forever, end the epic of combustion engines once and for all, and give people automotive technology that will allow them to travel for free, ecologically, safely, it will be like a Copernican breakthrough. Additionally, we will allow you to test your generators such as electromagnetic power plant and others on our Modec vehicle. But for this to happen we need to collect the required budget, quickly buy a Modec, transport it to a safe place, replace the battery cells and start intensive work on our systems. In total we have several models of generators to test. So if you want to help us, you can do it. We offer 1 share in our project to anyone who donate at least €100, $100 or £100 to our project, and if we complete it and sell it to a potential manufacturer, there will be a financial benefit for everyone who has such shares. Finally, at this stage we need to buy a Modec, secure it, preserve it, remove any faults, replace the cells in the main battery, conduct an MOT, technical inspection, and perform the first practical range test with new battery cells, with a full vehicle load, i.e. 2,100 kilograms, in order to determine the base range. You can support us via PayPal or directly to the account I will provide after talking to me on Skype, Polscott1971, or after talking via WhatsApp +4474293499048. Everyone who supports us will be able to receive a full report on the progress of the project and even test driving a Modec van for themselves. If we manage to achieve a range of 1,000 kilometers, we will be the only ones in the world who have such a vehicle and such technology, no one else but us, so imagine how much money such a prototype will be worth? Currently, more and more inventors are contacting me who want to join the project. They have their own ambitious proposals regarding charging while driving, but money is the only barrier.